Although elves are said to be immortal, their physical presence on Earth could be destroyed until they were re-embodied in the halls of Mandos. Their bodies did not die of old age or illness, but they could be slain by weapons, drowned, or starved to death. Indeed, this was the fate of many elves in Middle-earth. Yet 3 among them defied the years and earned the title of the 3 oldest elves.
Hello everyone and welcome to Middle-earth Tales. I am Murat. Today I will be talking about the 3 oldest elves in Middle-earth. I use an AI clone of my own voice in my videos. I do this to provide you with a better and smoother experience. If you had liked to learn the details, you can check out my About Me video. Let's get started.
The 3 elves I will tell you about today are not the ones who lived the longest without dying. They are the elves who have lived the longest in Middle-earth. If we were to ignore this detail and include those who left Middle-earth for Valinor during the years of the trees and never returned, we would encounter 3 very different names. However, the names I am looking for are the oldest elves who were born in Middle-earth and lived here. If we hadn't set the rule of being born in Middle-earth, the 3rd oldest elf would have been Galadriel. Although Galadriel spent most of her life in Middle-earth, she was born in Valinor. Therefore, instead of her, the 3rd place goes to Thranduil, a Sindar elf. Thranduil was born in Doriath in an uncertain year of the First Age. Chronicles say that he and his father, Oropher, witnessed the downfall of Doriath. In this case, it is certain that he was born before the second kinslaying, that is, before the year 506. Thranduil was probably an elf who had not yet reached adulthood at that time. After Doriath was destroyed, they joined the Sylvan Elves, and over time, they crossed to the east of the Misty Mountains, establishing their own kingdom here in Greenwood the Great. This people, who did not involve themselves much in the events of the Second Age, could not remain indifferent to the alliance formed between elves and men at the end of the age, and they joined this joint army as well. When his father Oropher died in the Battle of Dagorlad, Thranduil became king and remained king until the end of the Third Age. In the Third Age, although they constantly retreated within their realm in Mirkwood to avoid the evil emanating from Dol Guldur, war eventually became inevitable. Thranduil and his soldiers first fought against the orcs in the Battle of the 5 Armies. Afterward, Thranduil's son Legolas joined the Fellowship of the Ring. And finally, Thranduil fought against the army of Mordor. With the destruction of Sauron, he once again held dominion over the forest he lived in. He remained in Middle-earth for a while longer after the war. When he finally departed for Valinor, he was between 6,600 and 6,700 years old. The 2nd oldest elf born in Middle-earth was Celeborn, the husband of Galadriel. Although there are 2 different versions regarding Celeborn, according to the accepted version, which is also found in the Silmarillion, he was born in Middle-earth before the sun had even risen, during the years of the trees. He was a Sindar elf and also a kinsman of Thingol, the king of Doriath. Because he was born during the years of the trees, we do not know exactly when he came into the world. However, for this very reason, it is certain that he was in Middle-earth for 3 full ages. Celeborn took part in the first battle fought against Melkor when he destroyed the trees and returned to Middle-earth. Yet, after this battle, he did not participate in the struggle against Melkor during the First Age again. This was because those wars were waged by the Noldor elves, who were not welcomed in Doriath. Despite this, Celeborn married Galadriel, who was a Noldor elf. Although Celeborn wandered from place to place during the First and Second Ages, he finally found his place in the Third Age. Together with Galadriel, they became the Lord and Lady of Lothlorien. Just as his wife Galadriel had not declared herself a queen, Celeborn did not view himself as a king either. The two were merely the guardians of Lothlorien, and though they did not call themselves king and queen, they were treated as such by the people. At the end of the Third Age, Celeborn first fought in the defense of Lorien against Mordor, and then helped cleanse Mirkwood. When the Fourth Age arrived and he left Middle-earth like the other elves, he was at least 7,050 years old. And the oldest elf in Middle-earth, surpassing his closest rival Celeborn by millennia, is Círdan. Although Círdan was not one of the first 144 elves who awoke around Lake Cuiviénen during the years of the trees, it is highly probable that he was born in the 1 or 2 generations immediately following them. This is because he was a kinsman of Elwë and Olwë, who are known for certain to have been born in the 2nd generation. In this case, Círdan, who was among the very first elves to open their eyes, and whom we know to be the last to leave Middle-earth, unrivaled, becomes the oldest elf to have lived in Middle-earth. In a way, his life is actually a tragedy. This is because among the elves invited to Valinor, he was one of the most eager to go, yet he was given the task of ensuring the passage of the elves remaining in Middle-earth to Valinor. Thus, he began building ships for the other elves to go to that place they so deeply desired to see. He fulfilled this duty flawlessly throughout 3 ages. He also joined battles when necessary, but his true purpose was to enable the elves to sail across the sea. And so it was. For 3 ages, the elves set sail upon his ships. Over time, the number of elves dwindled, but he waited, until the very last elf departed. There is no definitive information, but it is certain that Círdan set sail along with that final elf. When he departed on this unknown date, he was approximately 11,400 years old. And these are the 3 oldest elves in Middle-earth. Of course, it is important to remember that these are the elves whose names are known. Perhaps there is an unnamed elf who never meddled in the affairs of the world, living in their own quiet corner, who lived in Middle-earth longer than Thranduil and Celeborn, even if not longer than Círdan. It is impossible for us to know. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until we meet again, take care and farewell.